If you just play Palworld recently and you are confusing with the world setting that you want to set so you can have a very good experience playing the game, in this video I will share you about what's the best world setting that you can use to enhance your gameplay, especially for you that just playing Palworld. Basically, for the world setting, whenever you create a new world or a new saving game, or even the world that you already created before, you can just set the difficulty and also set if you want to play multiplayer in your world or not. Just simply to click either a create new world or select one of the save game that you already created, and after that you can press on the world setting so you can start to manage the setting of your world. And I will explain one by one what the toggle are for and try to explain as detailed as possible to let you understand how you can set the world difficulty and also make your gameplay much better, especially for you a beginner player in the Palworld. After giving name of your world, you can just set up if you want to play solo or play with your friends. Means you need to turn on the multiplayer setting, and after that you can set the difficulty of your world by using their preset like casual, normal or hard, or even you can custom it by yourself. For the casual, as you can see, there's kind of like there are no penalty when you die, and also the capture rate of your pal will be really high, and for the normal we'll be using the normal rate, and for the hard it will be have a very huge penalty when you die. And when you try to click the custom button, you can see all the settings that you can set to match on your play style and also to match your gameplay, where you can set a lot of things in here, and I will explain one by one what the settings are for and what's the impact to your game, and also how it impacts when you play multiplayer in your world. I'm not really recommended you to use the preset difficulty from the game like casual, normal or hard, but I prefer for you if you just play the game, it's better for you if you're using the custom setting for your world. And now I will give you the best setting that I used through my journey to the Palworld after spending more than 150 hours in the game. And let's start with the day and night time speed. For the day and night time speed, I really recommended to put this still on 1. So basically in here, if you put to 5, then the day and night time speed will be much faster every time, and if you put this to 0.1, then it will be slower. So for your first experience, I recommended to put this one is still on 1. And if you are in the mid or in the end game and you are looking for the schematic or farming the materials from the boss, then I recommended to put this on 5. But you need to remember that the nighttime speed is always much faster than the daytime speed, even though you put the same speed on the configuration. The next is the XP rate. The XP rate on the configuration is to set how much the amount of XP that your character and also your pal will receive every time you're doing something like catching the balls, creating some tools, creating some item, planting, and every much activity that you will do on the game. And for the beginner, I recommended to put this around 7 until 10. The reason is because if you put this on the 20, the reason is because if you put the XP rate to 20, it will broke your experience as the new player in the game, and you and your pal will level up very fast, and you will reach the maximum level is around 3 until 4 hours in the game. So I recommended for the new player or just the beginner, you can put the XP rate around 7 to 10 so you can enjoy the gameplay and also the progress in your world. The next is spell capture rate. For this setting, I recommended you to put this on 2, because even though you put this on the maximum rate, it doesn't mean that you will catch the ball easily. It's just increasing a slightly better from the previous rates means 1, and it's just kind of like double it, but doesn't mean that every time you catch a ball then it will be 100% you can catch. So for this one, even though you're beginner or you are mid and end game player, I recommended for this one always on 2. The next one is ball appearance rate. For this setting, I recommended you, especially for beginner, just to put on 1 or 1.5, because if you put this setting into 2, it's not only kind of like affecting the performance of your game and also your computer, but also will impact on your experience while playing the game, especially for you beginner, because when you put this into 2 or 3, then the ball that will be appears on that location will be multiplied by 2 or even 3 based on the rate that you set. So means if you usually sighting a field boss in there that usually 1, if you put this appearance rate to 2, then the field boss on that location will become 2, and if you put this on 3, it will make the field boss that appear in that location will become also 3. For you the beginner, I'm not recommended to make this setting until you reach the mid game and end game if you already build up your pal and also build up your equip, and you want to do a farming from the boss, then I recommended to put this on 2 and 3. But for the beginner, always put this on 1 or maximum 1.5. The next one is damage from pulse multiplier. For the beginner, I'm not recommending to put this on 1 because the damage from pal itself is already hit a lot, and especially if you're not having the armor at the current state, then I recommend it for you beginner that just learn the game or just want to explore the game, then you can put this on 0.1, so the damage from the palisade will not hit you a lot and you still can fight and capture them every time you want. The next is damage to pal multiplier. So for this setting, I recommended you to put this on 5, so later on in the game you can put your character status point into other aspect that might be helping you a lot. Like example, you can increase focus on the weight and also the health and a little bit of war speed, so you can put your attack status at minimum, which is 100, and you still hit a lot to the pal that you hit because you put the damage multiplier to pal on 5. This will not broken your experience and you still kind of like having the balance while fighting and also bringing a lot of things in your pack. The next is pal hunger depletion rate. So basically in this setting you can set if your pal will be hungry more and will craving for food more rather than the normal rate, or you want to make the hunger depletion rate much lower, so you can fighting with your pal much more longer with requiring less food than the normal rate. And for this one, I recommended to put on 0.1 because food is something that doesn't have any status, and if your pal is already have kind of like a huge hunger requirement, then they will eat a lot and also deplete their hunger rate much more faster rather than the other. So put this one on 0.1 is the best choice for you. The next one is pal stamina reduction rate. For this one, I also recommended you to put on 0.1, so whenever you mount your pal or flying with your pal, their stamina will reduce much more slower and you can run faster with your mount and also flying much more faster with your flying mount without thinking about their stamina reduction that really fast. So I recommended to put this on 0.1 so you can explore the world much more longer. The next one is pal health regeneration. Both of them is basically are the same setting for the different location. So basically after you have a battle with your pal and also finishing the battle, the regeneration health much more faster if you put this on 5. This also have the same effect for the next toggle. Whenever your pal is down and you put your pal back in your pal box, then the health regeneration will be much more faster, so they can be used again to the battle much more faster. So for this one, I recommended you to put on 5, so whenever your pal is taking a damage or down, they will come back much more faster. The next one is damage from player and also damage to the player. Basically this is almost the same like when you setting for the damage to pal and also damage from pal. If you're playing solo, you don't need to think about this so much, but if you're playing multiplayer, I recommended to put this on 1. So whenever you play with your friend and you accidentally hit them, it's not gonna hurt them a lot, or if they try to hurt you, the damage is not gonna be very big or really big to you. The next is the hunger and also stamina depletion for your character. If you are newbie and you don't want to spend a lot of status point on your character for the stamina, I really recommended to put on 0.1 and also the hunger depletion on 0.1, so your character will not hungry a lot and also you can save your food for your pal in your party. The next one is your character health regeneration when you are on the battle, after the battle, and also when you are asleep. For the beginner, I really recommended to put this on 5, so whenever you get attacked from pals, you can just run away and wait for your health to regenerate back. And if you put this on 5, the regeneration will be much faster and you can come back to the battle to help your pal. The next is damage to structure multiplier. For you, a beginner and also single player, you want to put this on 0.5, so whenever you misclick or throw a weapon or try to hit some pal and hit some building on your base, the damage from the weapon is not gonna be hurt a lot to the building and it's not gonna be easy to be destroyed by you. The next setting is to set if the building outside your base is gonna be destroyed after several times or not. If you're playing solo and you want to create the best building and also you want to create a castle that might be need to create outside your base area, then I recommend to put this on 0, so the building outside your base area will not destroy after several times. The next is how many items that can be dropped on your world, and for beginner, I think you can set up using the standard means 3000 items that will be dropped on your world. But if you want to find more items along your journey and exploration on your world, then I recommended to put the maximum item that can be dropped on your world to 5,000. The next one is gatherable item multiplier. In here you can set how many items that you can get from the gatherable object like ore, berry, and stone. For the beginner, I recommended to put this on 2, or if you want to collect more resources much easier, then you can put this on max, means you can put this on 3. The next is gatherable object health multiplier. So basically in here you can set if the gatherable object like ore, stone, and 3 health is multiplied by 2 or 3. This multipliers means also you will get more resources, because the more health the nodes have, the more item that you can get from there. But for the beginner, I recommended to put this maximum only 2, because if you put this on 3, then the nodes will have a lot of health, and pretty much you don't have any way limit to bring all the items that you can get from the nodes. So 2 is max and 3 maybe for the later if you reach the mid or the end game. Next is gatherable object spawn interval. For this one, I recommended you to put still on 1. So the interval of the object like ore, stone, and also the tree, they will responding much faster after you finish gathering all the item from the node. So I recommended to put this on 1, but if you want to put this on 0.5 is also okay. So the nodes of the ore, stone, and also the tree will responding much faster. The next is drops item multiplier. For this one, I recommended to put on 3. So all the things that being dropped by the pal will be multiplied by 3. Set this on 3 will not affecting your gameplay, because basically you need a lot of the materials to build your base, to craft your armor, and also to craft your weapon. So I recommended to put this on 3 to make your journey much faster to understand the gameplay. The next one is time to incubate your egg. So basically when you find an egg and you already unlock the egg incubator, this setting is to configure how long you need to wait for an egg to hatch. So for the beginner, I recommended to put this on 1 using the default setting, or you can put to 0. So basically the incubate doesn't need time to wait, and whenever you reach the mid and the end game, you need a lot of copies of the pulse, and the only way to create the 4-star pulse is by using the breeding system. So put this on 0 or 1 is the recommendation that I will give it to you. The next one is enable raid events. I recommended for you to put this on because in several locations there will be some raid event where your base will be attacked by the pal, and sometimes the pals that raided your base is hard to find near your base location. So I recommended to put this on. The next one is the death penalty. So basically in death penalty, I recommended to put this on no drop. So whenever you're exploring and accidentally maybe you're falling down and your character dies, or your character dies from the battle with the pal, then there will be no penalty from your death. The next one is maximum of guild member. If you're playing solo, basically you don't need to think about this, but if you're playing multiplayer, you might be want to set around 20 until 100, so everyone that join your world will become your guild member. And this one I recommended to put on 20 first, and later on you can change if a lot of your friends join your world. The last one is how many pals that can you assign to work at your base when you reach the maximum level. So basically for this one, I recommended to put on 20. So when you have 3 base, you can assign up to 60 pals on your base. I think that's all from me in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and understand how you can setting your world in the Palworld. And remember that you can always change your world setting every time you want, even though the world is already being played. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to see my another video related to Palworld or another game. See you next time. Bye bye.